Hello and welcome to Geology, a channel dedicated to making concepts in biology simple, easy to understand and interesting. This video is part 4 of our series on the human skeletal system, and in this video we are going to explore the sternum, that is the breastbone, and the ribs. The sternum and ribs protect vital organs like heart and lungs while supporting breathing. Let's explore how these bones work together to safeguard the thoracic cavity. In part 1, we learnt that the sternum and ribs are part of the axial skeleton, contributing to the structure of the rib cage. Now let's dive deeper into how the sternum and ribs work together to support respiration and provide structural stability to the upper body. The sternum is a flat, elongated bone situated in the center of the chest, where it connects with the rib bones. It is made up of three sections: the manubrium, the upper part that articulates with the clavicles, then the body, which is the largest middle section that joins with the ribs, and the xiphoid process, which is a small pointed lower part that starts as cartilage and gradually turns into bone with age. The sternum plays a crucial role in protecting vital organs, especially heart, lungs, and the chest blood vessels by forming the front part of the rib cage. It also serves as an attachment site for muscles involved in breathing and arm movements, supporting the function of respiration and upper limb mobility. Additionally, the sternum provides a connection point for collar bones, that is the clavicles, and the 7 pairs of true ribs. We'll see what does it mean by true ribs subsequently in the video, and thus they help to maintain the structural integrity and stability of the thoracic region. An interesting fact about sternum is that its name comes from the ancient Greek word sternon, which means chest. In infants, the sternum starts as a cartilage and gradually ossifies into a bone as they grow. This process is typically completed by the age of anywhere between 25 to even 40 at times, marking the full transformation of the sternum into a solid bone. Now let's look at ribs. So humans have 12 pair of ribs, each with distinct functions and features. So pairs 1 to 7 are called true ribs. These ribs are connected to the thoracic vertebrae at the back, and they are attached directly to the sternum at the front through their own costal cartilage. Pairs 8, 9 and 10 are called false ribs because these ribs do not connect directly to the sternum. Instead, they join the 7th rib through the cartilage, and hence they are also referred to as vertebrochondral ribs. Vertebrochondral ribs. Okay. Then pair 11 and 12 are called the floating ribs. These ribs have no anterior attachment at all to the sternum, leaving their front ends free. Known as floating ribs, they help to protect the kidneys. The ribs play several important functions in the body. They protect the vital organs such as heart, lungs, and blood vessels, forming a protective cage around the thoracic cavity. The ribs also support the upper body and assist with breathing by expanding and contracting during respiration. They serve as attachment points for muscles which are involved in breathing and trunk movement. Additionally, the floating ribs provide protection for the kidneys, safeguarding these essential organs. Let's look at the structure of a single rib. An individual rib consists of several key components. The head, that is the capitulum, is the rounded posterior end of the rib, which articulates with the bodies of two adjacent thoracic vertebrae through superior and inferior facets. The neck is a short, narrow section that connects the head to the body of the rib. The tubercle, a small rounded prominence on the posterior side, articulates with the transverse process of the corresponding thoracic vertebrae. Together, these parts form the rib structure, allowing it to connect with the spine and contribute to the rib cage. So, if you are not able to understand the thoracic vertebrae or the transverse processes, etc., I would recommend that you please go back and refer to the video on the vertebral column that's available on the channel. The shaft, that is the body of the rib, is a long, curved and flattened portion that makes up the majority of the rib's length. It contains an angle located laterally along the shaft where the rib begins to curve sharply forward. Along the inferior margin of the rib shaft runs the costal groove, a groove that houses and protects the intercostal nerves, arteries, and veins, ensuring a safe passage for these vital structures. Together, these features contribute to the rib's structure and function. The anterior end of the rib is the ventral blunt portion that articulates with the costal cartilage, which connects the rib to the sternum. The costal cartilage is a strip of hyaline cartilage that links the anterior end of the rib 1 to 7 to the sternum, providing flexibility to the rib cage. So, this flexibility is essential for breathing as it allows the rib cage to expand and contract during respiration. Together, these components contribute to the rib's role in respiratory movement and protection of thoracic organs. The thoracic vertebrae, ribs, and sternum together form the rib cage, which is also known as rib case or the thoracic basket. And that's a wrap on part 4. If you haven't already, be sure to check out parts 1, 2, and 3 on my YouTube channel, Givology by Sanchita. And stay tuned for parts 5 and 6 coming your way soon. Thanks so much for following along, and more exciting content is on its way.